Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. This is Dr. Rao. I thought I would come and start conversation on any topic that is of significance for me, and also invite whoever joins me to pick a topic and let's have a conversation of significance. What does it mean, significance? That is going to be useful for all and not delegating any particular person, philosophy, or you know um, any theme or anything that people hold dear, scientific or unscientific, whatever it is. But generally, have a nice, friendly, heart-to-heart conversation that's of significance, right? Uh, for me, uh, looking at my patients, for example, uh, it's important to have a meaningful conversation with them so that they get not only attention to what they're suffering now and also understanding why that has come in their life. Is there any uh, particular type of things that they can do to eliminate that or then to erase the illness and not to allow it to come either in them or in their family. It's like a roots of illness that I want to go to. So that's a meaningful conversation usually I have. It's a tricky business though. You don't want to make them feel bad and feel guilty about things, but at the same time, get it with a nice, friendly gesture that, yeah, I should have been more alert of this lifestyle that I'm doing. For example, somebody comes with a severe cough and shortness of breath, and we do a chest X-ray as a part of the workup, and that reveals a lot of damage to the lungs. And because lungs are damaged, they try to hyperinflate and try to develop adjustment to the difficulty of the breathing that they experience. And then they kind of balloon out. That is quite evident on the chest X-ray. And when I show them this is abnormal. Your lungs should not have been inflated so much. And then I show them a normal chest X-ray where they're not like balloons, especially on the tips of the lungs. That is very telling for my patient, and then he may understand what was going on in his lungs due to his smoking, and then he could be motivated to stop the smoking. Then we could help him, right? So that is the meaningful conversation I have with my patients because they have a problem that is identified and that is telling on them, and they're really open to listen. But if you have somebody who has been thinking in a certain way, like I'm going to eat all processed food and I'm going to eat outside my home, whatever is delicious, I'm going to enjoy it, and nobody is going to deny me that enjoyable experience. And then their blood sugars are very high, and they are suffering because of the blood sugars, because they're running to the bathroom all the time, they don't have energy, and so many problems. Diabetes, right? And it doesn't happen just like that. Yeah, after several years of this pleasurable eating, people develop, right? I do be so having a conversation about that kind of subtle things, are very difficult, and you can't take away these pleasures from them. Even if you motivate them in the clinic, they go out and they succumb to their mental tendencies or enjoyable experiences and all that, and they may not think about that at the time, and they will continue the behavior, which is going to continue to worsen the diabetes. So, and then what about human thinking itself? The way we think about things, we identify with ourselves, that's a very, very subtle. And it is ingrained in it, like a personality. I am this kind of person, this kind of tendencies, this kind of belief systems, this kind of conclusions, concepts, right? We have so much of it, and we make that personhood big deal. And when you touch that personhood, question that, people take offense, and then people defend, and people don't want to participate to explore that thing, the personhood. Is it real? Is it needed? Is it something causing harm to our human beings as a tribe? It is not allowing us to be one unit. So these are deeper, fundamental questions. So we can have conversation casually, just laugh a lot, and then just have a good time. That's fine. Okay, that's actually wanted, right? I have a guest here. Okay, Mark, my friend. Let's see what he has to say. Hi, Mark.
Hey, how are you doing today?
I am great.
So I came up with like a tagline. I'm gonna write a book, and this will be the tagline. But I put it on my social media too, and it is consistent with what you talk about and what you try to do.
Yeah.
Promoting compassion.
Uh-huh.
Right? That's like the goal, right? That's like the goal.
Yeah.
Why it's a good goal for all of us. Just say we want to be compassionate.
Yeah.
Promote compassion, and then say how do you do it? So
Yeah.
I picked three things, mechanisms to do that.
Mm-hmm.
First, it's debatable what you put first, so we'll ignore that. But I put integrity first,
Mm-hmm.
and then I put humility second,
Mm-hmm.
and then I put levity third. And you were just talking about laughing. So most of the time, I would prefer to laugh than worry about integrity or worry about humility. Those are complex and hard, but I understand what makes me laugh, so I would just prefer to do something that is funny than worry about anything else.
See, let's put it this way. Compassion, is that a intellectual understanding, or is it a feeling of kindness, loving kindness?
I think that's a great question. I think it's a weird thing. Like, compassion's weird. Integrity, weird. Humility, weird. Because it's not just an intellectual thing, nor is it just like a physical feeling thing or concept. It's like a combination of both. All of them are.
Yeah, I agree with what you are saying. But what I'm saying is that is understanding. But beyond that, are you ending up in the feeling? That's the conversation about, right? So we can say, I do feel kind, even the people who are dishonest, no integrity, because they are ignorant of their real divine nature, and they are ignorant. That's why they are doing this. Not that we condone or we want to encourage their behavior, but not having non-kindness to those people who are wrong, that is compassion.
Yes, for sure, sure.
See, only thing is, if we bring in our intellect, you and me, and then we kind of sit on a high horse and say, you should have been this, this is not there. That's what people tend to do, because they fall out of the heart into their general intellect.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. It's not that.
I have a couple other things to say, but I'm going to run out of time here.
No, come up, Mark. After that, after time is done, come up. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just got 5, 4, 3.
Yeah, you can come back. No problem.
I'll come back in a second.
Yeah, Mark is coming back. So let's see. So this is a significant conversation. I enjoy it.
So you know this stuff, because I've never said anything that you don't understand that's true. Yeah. So I like talking to you. But the key things that I figured out, it's hard to do, but conceptually I figured them out. We have two systems, right? There's the dualistic dividing things into pieces so we can say this is this, then that is different from that. So it's dualism, and it's essential to understand things, right? So we've got a dualistic frame, and then if you study stuff, you can come up with this other frame that's like probably perspective is better. It's a non-dual frame. It's super hard to understand for most people. But it's real. It's like the essence of spirituality, the perception of God, whatever. It's non-dual. It's this underlying thing. Some people call it consciousness. Some people call it simply God or goodness or intelligence. It's this thing that can't really be divided. So we have these two things, and we fall into a trap when we essentially judge. So we know things are black and white, woman, man, left, right, up, down. We know all that stuff. Yeah. But when we make an error and we say, well, this person's a Republican, so they're black and bad. And this person's a Democrat, so they're good. Yeah. We're artificially judging without having an open, compassionate compassionate frame. So this judgment is like the essence of the problem. This judgment piece.
Yeah. See, what the fundamental difference that made was don't analyze things, but just be. And that is difficult because when we catch hold of the thought stream or our mental activities, whatever, like a Republican has a Republican political ideology, but he's still a human being. So you may disagree the ideology, be that, but why do you have to make that person to be judged on that? See, that's where we kind of develop a wall between us, because our ideology may change. Okay, today you may be democratic ideology, you may change it to Republican ideology of where I want to be nationalistic, I want to be defense-oriented, I want to be that kind of thing. That's always the ideology. It used to be this country agree to disagree, but at the same time be friends, all the way from people, right? But now we made this ideology. Come back, Mark. Nobody's there in the queue, so you can come back. So why do we have to put our mind first ahead of our feeling of compassion? That's the thing, the compassion is nothing but identifying you and are in the same consciousness, and this is the same energy. And once you identify people are that, like I do with all my patients, everybody comes, right? Everybody comes, all those, everybody comes. But then we never get into political ideology because it doesn't really matter. It's a personal thing. It's something that they could support, and they could they have a responsibility of voting and according to the philosophy. If they don't agree, they can come and present, and we can have a conversation where we try to understand each other's position, and then really maybe we can influence each other to change somewhat. That's okay, but not judging and blaming people and then creating a big divide, and we're paying price for that. You see, in compassion.
Yeah. So to me, the problem with judgment, what you're doing without knowing, you're oversimplifying things. So you're shortcutting and short shrifting for holistic understanding. Like you said, it's much better to say, "Oh, I disagree with this guy's ideas," than "I disagree with this guy."
Yeah, right? Exactly. That's what is happening, because we have this human tribe where he's a human being. That is the feeling you should first get it. Not because this human being is advantageous for me, or this is how all the gender, all this race, all this caste, everything comes down because of the called political advantage or whatever. And if you don't need that, then what I'm saying is, what is simple about this is, if you really go to the crux of things, to your basic thing, you are a human being. And then you become something else. Is a particular family, particular political party, and all those things come up for later. So basically, go back to what you really are, human being. It becomes so much easier to deal with within your mind, within your heart, and then open up the heart from all this concept. That's the problem. Modern mind is very good at discovering scientific things that are supposed to make easier of our life, but then this thinking turned against us, making us divide and then fight. So bury the mind in the heart. That means open the heart, engulf the mind.
Yeah, it's funny because you and I talk, and we both will just nod our heads and say, yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, truth is one. It's not mine or yours. Truth is one. Everybody responds to that, not just to agree. If you don't agree with me, it doesn't matter to me. If I agree with you, it doesn't matter to you. It's a question of truth that is there, you know. Thanks, Mark. I think that was good. You see, this is the meaningful conversation that I think we should promote, and we should improve and bring back the civility, and also camaraderie and also affection for each other, rather than identifying with our migrating or changing concept and dividing ourselves, right? It's not like I'm preaching anything, but that is the fact. That is what is going on. People identify with so many age-old concepts that were not real anymore. Like, for example, a lot of spiritual activity is different from ritualism that's going on all around the world. People stop questioning or thinking, rather than agreeing and believing in some so-called authority, and then they kind of walk in the path of division and conflict of that. Okay? So I think conversations can really first bring us close to what we are talking about, and then trying to affectionately understand each other, and then not identifying people by our concepts, but for what they are. Any patient walks in front of me is a human being first. So why don't I confine myself to that being, rather than all the other things do not really matter to me. He's suffering. So I want to reach out and try to help to ease the suffering or remove the suffering or eliminate the suffering. Okay. That's my role, right, as a physician, but also my role as a fellow human being, my role as a brother of every human being that comes in front of us, right? Once I have that, once I have that passion for all in this way, that is the compassion. That's the heart feeling, not my intellectual labeling, right? That's where we kind of misuse our intellect. Is not bad, but the way we use intellect to separate us, that is what we need to revisit and examine that. In conversations, we have to use our intellect, our language, and then express our feelings, our concerns, our ideas, and all that, which is much more productive when it is done for our family as a whole, for our tribe as a whole. That's what happens in scientific discoveries. Many of the scientists, when they start investigating into the laws of nature, or finding out the roots of what is causing problems for us, let us find out a solution, how things work, and all that. They usually embark upon a journey of discovering things that are going to help us to better live, or better understand, or better execute our life, right? So basically, he is coming from a passion for everybody or everybody's problem, and then want to find out. But then he will use his mind to investigate into the matter, but the underlying, like a Tesla, Nicholas Tesla. I admire Nicholas Tesla because he came from, I think, East European country, something like that. And then he was in poverty, and he grew in poverty, and he understood, and he had a real good heart. And then he was always trying to get free energy for everybody, and he wanted to use earth as a conductor of electricity so that you can go and plant a post in your backyard and get free energy, that kind of thing, So Terry is coming up. Let's see what Terry has to say. So Tesla operated from the heart. Hi, Terry.
Hello, I've only come in literally in the last minute.
Yeah.
Did you mention Tesla?
Yes, Nikola Tesla.
Yeah, underrated in his lifetime, but appreciated afterwards.
Yeah. He's, I admire him quite a bit. That's why I was mentioning him.
When you understand the beauty of the 369, you will have a key to the universe.
Yeah, exactly. He improved our lives so much. Yeah.
He did, and that could be a topic for a talk on its own.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw you a curveball, Dr. Rao.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I know you come from yoga and the Vedic traditions. So, how about synchronicity? What's your thoughts on synchronicity?
Oh, yeah. You know what? We are in synchronicity, but with our mind, we come out of that. Right? So if you really base yourself, throw away all these concepts and mind going that way, this way, and all that, you are as a whole really in synchronicity with everything else in the universe. Right?
Yes.
What the thing is,
well, that is the ultimate goal, the ultimate aim,
Yeah. We only kind of come out of it by separating ourselves with our mind. That is the thing I'm talking about. If you are in synchronicity with everything around you, you see the energy. See, I'd come here, I get a few people to come and listen to me, but it doesn't bother me because even one person comes, I can feel the synchronicity, like I felt with Mark, like I'm feeling with you.
Yeah.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
And
the people who need to hear you, Dr. Rao, will hear you at the right time for them.
That's it. They are in their own path, so leave them alone. Don't push them up. So that kind of I don't have the division of my how am I appreciated, because I don't separate myself as away from the synchronic whole. You are that whole. You are there, and you're already synchronized, right? And once you
are just thrown out of the room, Dr. Rao. The universe plays tricks on us all the time. I was thrown into another room, but I'm back.
Yeah.
So
It's a kind of it's not the universe throwing us, or are we allowing ourselves to be thrown out? That's my point.
Always remember.
Yeah. Come on. Back. They're coming back. Go on.
Always remember to be able to laugh at life and yourself.
Exactly.
And sometimes the universe wishes we had a better sense of humor.
Exactly.
A lot of people are
sense of humor is
so serious all the time.
I will tell you a couple of things on this sense of humor, Terry. I think you will like it. See, whenever you smile or whenever you laugh, notice your mind kind of still. That's the moment when you are laughing, and then you notice, if you really pay attention, you are not thinking anything. You just laugh. You just enjoy. That's why it's such a beautiful thing to laugh or to smile.
It is.
Yeah.
Some of the greatest spiritual gurus in history laughed a lot.
Exactly. Not only that.
If you look at the Dalai Lama,
they have this.
He's always laughing.
The Dalai Lama always laughs. That's true. And then because they don't have this mind going on, and kind of intricately weaving the net of, oh, should we say this? It will be accepted. Is it politically correct? None of it, right? And that's such a freedom. There's another thing too. When you look at with a smile, like a play, a kind of a drama going on in front of you, you kind of look at it with a smile on your face because it is the scenes moving, but you are not the play.
Yeah. And always learn to feel. If somebody smiles at you,
Yeah.
right? It could be disingenuous.
Yes.
So
How
do you feel?
Uniquely human thing we
Feel the
have.
smile.
Yeah, we have the uniquely ability to smile and to laugh and to enjoy.
Yeah. As opposed to an evil grin is the point I was trying to make there.
Yeah, then again, the mind is there behind, right? The grin is fake, and then this what is behind is not going to make him happy because he's always going into the mud by then this laughing, you know what they said? They said it's a leela. Leela means it's like kind of a play in delusion. It will go away. So they laugh at it, smile at it.
Yes, laughter.
The best medicine. Right? Laughter, the best medicine. I think Terry is muted there, but I can't hear him anymore. Anyway, I think that was wonderful point that Terry brought up. Why is that we are not smiling a lot? Why is that we take everything to the heart in a negative form? Why is that we are not liberating our minds by smiling and laughing? Like I said, you can still your mind and thought when you are laughing or smiling. So stop this constantly engaging the intellect in human relationships. I'm not saying you should not use thought to create. I'm not saying you are not to improve the lives of so many with our creative thought. That's all wonderful. Only problem with the thought is when it is employed to judge or do lots of people, right? That's not really good. Okay? So okay, somebody called me. That's okay. Now, these conversations I'm talking about are not to preach, but not to say that you are not thinking at the level you should be thinking. None at all. You got to open your own mind by posing a question to it and live with the question for a while. Okay, I think that's what the ancient did. They had these deep fundamental questions on life. What is life? What causes life? Where did we come from? What are we doing here? Is there a purpose for human life? Where are we going to go? What's going to happen to us after we die? Do we have a rebirth or not? These are the existential questions. Is there life beyond Earth? Is there some other life, some other form, more intelligent form in the universe? Why is that we are the only planet that has life? Or is there life brooding away where we cannot really even go? The thing with mind is it can explore these matters when it is not really occupied with mundane matters of existence that we kind of spend all our life in. But if you can take away from that kind of mundane things and then really reflect on these deep questions in stillness of mind, And what you discover is something not describable, but can be experienceable. So that's why you have to go into that experience. This group learning and who want to share information, go to each other. I think that's kind of where people are limiting themselves. Instead, I'm going to explore this into by myself with a mind that is silent and then go deep into your consciousness. Then you discover amazing things, and you will be much more strong if you are ended up there than ended up in the ever continuing constant chatter of thinking. Okay, have the chatter of thinking on creating stuff, but don't engage that in human relationship. That means you got to die to the person or personality and all, right? And that is where people get scared and run away because they invested so much in developing that personhood, personality, ego, and all that. And the moment you question that, they bolt, they run away from that. But that's okay, they can discover it for themselves. But essentially, it should not matter because they are all human beings. We are all in that tribe. And once we start to see people in that Superman's eyes, maybe like you can go into the deep into somebody and then identify them as human beings rather than this man is good at language, this man is good at really projecting some ideas. This man is good at making you feel like you are nothing. All those things will fall away, and then you go to the core and then identify them beyond the social, beyond the economic status, beyond the gender, beyond the nationality, beyond their ideology, whatever, right? Then it doesn't matter. Say, if somebody comes into my office, if I say, oh, I'm leaning more to the Democratic president this time, and I'm not going to like the Republicans, that's legitimate, right? So I'm not supposed to have that, and then engage my patients for what they came from. They came to get some help for the suffering, and I have to do that without having any prejudice to them. Okay, it doesn't have to be just a race. It can be because of you can't pay me my bill, I'm not going to give you good service. How would you like that if you see that? Okay, that's the simple thing. Okay. So actually, Mark was saying I'm making simple. Actually, every real truth is simple. We only complicate it by weaving a net of thinking around it. Get rid of it. Be simple. Get rid of that network of thought. Matrix, that movie is talking about this all the time. We always get into the matrix created by our own minds. So get out of that matrix, but have the conversations to unfold even that matrix within you. That's, I think, where the conversations make a great contribution to identify everybody. Am I talking from a concept, or am I talking from a perceived truth right in front of me? Right? And that's where, wedded to the intellectualism, a lot of people miss it and they get caught in that network like a spider that is woven the network by ourselves. For me, that was a big struggle in 80s when I first came in contact with J. Krishnamurti. He was talking about freedom from thought, right? I was perplexed. What is this he is talking about? I always thought was good, thought was important for human. We are different from animals because of our thought, and why I should be free of thought. Then human beings not only have the ability to look back as memory, to look forward as imagination, but that is only our ability, but we create and live in the past in our own sorrows or whatever. Okay, whereas we may project some if it not happened, but we may build up hope and aspirations And then when we go there, it may not be there, then we get crushed, right? Instead, try to be here and now and perceive the truth as it is in everything, and then react. And that is the ability that we have. But we can use the memory as a bank where we can go and take what we want, but not go and live in the safe deposit boxes of bank, right? And then project something that you want to work towards. But then as things change, as you are doing this, be malleable enough to be flexible for the situation. Then you can have an easier life too. So we kind of view our own matrix and get caught, and then you can get dropped. That is intellectual wedding. This is the problem with who was that Rene Descartes. Descartes, when he said, "I want to have some, say, this is actually real. So I am real. So I am thinking, that's why I'm real." And that's where the misstep was. Instead, he should have stopped and said, I am what I am thinking. I think, therefore I am, versus I am conscious, therefore I am. In consciousness, thoughts happen. That is the reality. Once I identified that, then you knew what is the burden of thought and where is the usefulness of thought on the intellect. And I'm perfectly all right to use my intellect, but I don't want to judge people based on intellectual conclusions. But the fact that they are beings, and I'm also a human being, and there is no division, only one energy. And everything else attributes, we can use them. But when you have to identify with the attributes, even calling myself intellect, I discovered was an attribute. I'm not just the intellect. I use that as a tool. Get out of the own prison that we make, and then you feel the freedom. And you have the beginner's mind then look at everything with that beginner's mind. It's not such a big deal. It's actually a very simple thing, but we make it complicated by our own prison, made our own prison, and then we lament, oh, I can't understand, I can't get out from that. Anyway, that's my experience. When I heard about freedom from thought, actually, the title of the book, if you want to go and review it, you can review it. It's a compilation of all the talks that happened. It's a freedom from the known. That's the title of that. So what he exposed was, in this moment, here you are. Can you be fresh and look at something not from the books or sayings of others, but from your own intelligence? Can you look at something, perceive something? So it's the perception that's important, not quoted by your past knowledge, past thing, then you see it for what it is. And he said something very important that I remember. What is, whatever that is, what is sacred. But if it is contaminated with the past of somebody or sayings of somebody, books of somebody, and all that, then you cannot have that intelligence operating. That's what happens with the belief systems, because you kind of blunt your intelligence with your own belief. So dump all of that, dump all the past knowledge, and then come to the present moment and use the perception of your intelligence and look at things. Then what is sacred in itself. What he was talking about, synchronicity, that is already there. But we contaminate the synchronicity by walking away from it with our mind. So compassion is feeling for everybody, devoid of all these intellectual concepts, the conclusions, and labels, whatever. Right? So be compassionate. Have passion for everybody. Identify we are all one being, actually one energy, and there are no differences at all. There are attributes made by the mind, by the body, the name and color and all that. They're okay attributes. Use them and live a full life, but then don't use them to separate yourself from the whole. That's when all the sorrow begins, right? Anyway, I think this conversation would be useful if you come and initiate a talk like Mark did, like Terry did. So anybody else want to come up, I can engage them and I can listen to them if they want to tell me about it. I'm going to follow people who came to my talk, which I normally do. Thanks for coming up and see. I see Western philosopher is in the, you can come up if you want to initiate any concept because you are always into that philosophical mode, right? Anyway, Rene Descartes was, he's a good guy, actually, it's not that, but he led Westerns to lean more towards identifying with the thinking, and they all think like, I am the thinking what I think I am, and then cannot get out of that network of thought, right? And then they kind of lose that ability without thinking somebody else's conclusions. Okay, so philosophy, in that sense, is supposed to be love of truth, right? So I can go on because these topics really animate me and then get me into get to the whatever comes right there. I'm not coming here with a message. What I am really practicing, I'm talking to you. The compassion is the passion for all. Even in this app also, see how many people operate with that. You know, you have to resonate with them means you have to agree with what my mind understands, and that's it. Then I will accept you. Otherwise, you're a challenge for me. So that's not going to grow. That's like a stagnation in your own conclusions and not breaking through all of them and perceiving something completely new. Anyway, I'm going to come up once in a while with this time slots where we're going to explore any topic, either picked by you or by me, and really explore in friendship and camaraderie, in equality, and just be much more friendships consolidated through our exploration to any topic, from the truth to the truth. Thank you, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Tonight, I think I have one talk for this week left on tips on wellness, and I'll see you at 8 o'clock Central Time in the same place. Okay, bye-bye.